Hi, welcome to Introduction to Algebra 1, Finding the Slope of Points on a Graph. Okay, first let's talk about graphing. Vertex, a point on a graph which consists of an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. X always comes first in the parentheses and y comes second, as shown on screen. Now x is a horizontal coordinate on a graph, as depicted on screen. Y is a vertical coordinate on a graph, as depicted on screen. Okay, so here I have pasted a picture of a graph, and let's determine the coordinates of the point on the graph that are depicted. So the first thing to notice is that first thing we want to do is we want to find what is our x-coordinate. So we look right here, which is the horizontal axis, which is our x-axis. So we see the point lines up exactly with the positive 5 on the x-axis. So then we put parentheses 5, comma, and now we look at our y-axis, which is our vertical axis, and we see where it lines up. And we see it lines up with negative 2. So our coordinate is 5, comma, negative 2. And that's as simple as finding the point on a graph. Okay, when asked to find the slope, you'll be given two different points on a graph. Slope is the ratio of the rise, the difference of the two y-coordinates, over run, the difference of the two x-coordinates of a graph to determine where the next points will appear on a graph. We will go into greater detail of how slope affects a graph in a later video, but right now we just want to focus on how to calculate the slope of two lines, 2 points. Now, our formula for slope is y2 over y1 over x2 minus x1 as depicted on screen. So let's go ahead and let's try some examples. So we have point 1 is equal to 0, comma 2, and point 3 is equal to 3, comma 4. So right away we know that the 0 right here is our x-coordinate, and so is the 3 in point 2. And in point 1, we have the 2 as our y-coordinate, and in point 2, we have the 4 as our y-coordinate. So the first thing we want to do is follow the formula. So we look at point 2, and we see that our y value is 4. So we do 4 minus, we look at point 1, which is our y1, minus 2, over, we look at point 2, which is our x2, 3, and we look at point 1, which has a 0 in the x place, minus 0. So now we do 4 minus 2 is equal to 2, 3 minus 0 is equal to 3, and there, we solved our slope. Our slope is simply 2 over 3. Okay, let's try another example. Here we have point 1, which is 2, comma 0, and we have point 2, which is negative 4, comma 5. So first of all, we want to identify what our x and y coordinates are, as depicted on screen. And now we want to plug it into our equation. So we want to use our y2, which is 5, minus 0, which is our y1. And now we want to do x2, which is our negative 4, point 2, minus 2. So we have positive 2 in point 1. So now we have 5 minus 0 is equal to 5. And we have negative 4 minus 2, which gives us negative 6. So simply, our answer is 5 over negative 6. Okay, so I recommend that you pause the video and try these two slope problems yourself. Okay, hopefully you found success with these two questions, and let's go over them. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move our slope formula to a better spot so we can get a good look at it. Okay, so our first question, we have point 1, which is 5, comma 0, and point 2, which is 7, comma 2. So right off the rip, we want to identify our x and our y's. depicted on screen. And simply, we take our y from point 2, which is 2, minus 0, which is our y in point 1. Take our x2, which is 7, minus 5, which is our x1. And we get 2 over 2, which slope is really like a fraction. So I can go ahead and simplify to 1 for us. So our slope is simply 1. And let's move to our last question. We have point 1, which is negative 6, comma 2, and point 2, which is 8, comma 0. First, we want to identify our x and our y coordinates and plug it in the formula. So we have y2 is 0, minus y1, which is 2, so 0 minus 2. And then we have x2, which is 8, minus our x1, which is negative 6, which is 8 minus negative 6. So now we have 0 minus 2, which gives us negative 2. And we have 8 minus negative 6. And the best way that whenever you're subtracting a positive number from a negative number, what you just want to do is really, it's like you're adding the two numbers. So it's really 8 plus 6, which gives us 14. And we have negative 2 over 14. And we can go ahead and simplify that into negative 1 over 7. Okay. Hopefully you learned something new in this video, and I will see you in the next video.